guys,
long time no see.
Almost Valentine's Day, or
it's
it
almost
is Valentine's Day,
Valentine's Day, or it is Valentine's Day, depending on when I decide to upload this video.
What better time than to film? What better time than to film
my favorite
YA romance novels? So I'm kind of squished awkwardly between the bed and the TV because my room's a mess, and I decided to film in my sister's room, and she has no space to film except for this little nook. So sorry if I'm kind of awkwardly sitting like at a really awkward angle, but that's just what we gotta do, you know? So I'm not a big reader of romance. I'm not a super big fan of contemporary reads or like romance reads in general. I prefer fantasy. I don't know why. I just gravitate a lot more towards it. But when I started getting into reading young adult, I basically, you know, I gravitated a lot more towards romance novels. So the books that I'm about to tell you, I read like 3 years ago, most of them, and I don't remember a lot of them. But I know that they were good. So, yeah. Also means that a lot of these books are kind of old. They are not recently published except for 2 of them. So sorry about that, and I also don't have a lot of these books on me, so I will be showing you lovely, lovely pictures that I took from Google Images. So the first book I will be talking to you about is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Everyone and their mother has read this book. Everyone has read this book. If you haven't read the book, you've seen the movie, and I don't know, I don't really think I have to tell you guys what this book is about, because you probably already know what it's about. And if you haven't read it, what are you doing with your life? It's a really good tearjerker book that I highly recommend. The second one is Beastly by Alex Flynn. And I mean, I don't know, there's a movie also about this book, and this is one of those books that I read like a million years ago. But if I recall correctly, it's a modern retelling of Beauty and the Beast. It's set in modern day, even though it's not really modern day anymore, New York City, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, pretty much I don't really remember anything else but that, but I know it was a good book. The next one is The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen. And basically any Sarah Dessen book, like Sarah Dessen, she just writes the cutest love stories ever, but this is definitely my favorite book from hers. And basically it's about, and I'm gonna be saying basically a lot, I'm sorry, I don't have a big vocabulary, but it's about this girl, and it's summer, and her boyfriend's away from summer camp, and she's working at the library, and she's like, oh my goodness gracious, this is so boring. But then she meets a guy, of course, because romance novels, the girls always meet a guy, and you can probably guess what happens from there. You know, they fall in love and blah 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 blah. There's a whole bunch of, you know, things that happen, but it's a good book. It's a really cute book. I really enjoyed reading. But basically any Sarah Dessen book, they're all good for the most part. Fourth on our list is Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. And basically any of the ones that are a part of a little companion series thing. You have Lola and the Boy Next Door and Isla in the Happily Ever After. And I'm going to be talking about Anna and the French Kiss because that's what I recommend you start out with. But then after you're at Anna and the French Kiss, you can read Lola and the Boy Next Door and then Isla and the Happily Ever After. You don't have to read that in that order. They're all companions. They don't have a specific order to read them. You don't even have to read all of them, but, you know. This book is about a girl named Anna. Of course, who would have thought that the main character was named Anna? Like, what? It's about, she goes to boarding school in France, and of course, guess what happens? She meets a guy. Who would have thought, right? Who would have thought? In a romance novel. And it's honestly a very cute love story. It's one of my all-time favorite love stories. The original covers are kind of cheesy, kind of off-putting. You're just kind of like, what were they thinking? But yeah, it's adorable. It's so freaking adorable. And the characters in Anna and the French Kiss, some of them go on to be featured in Lola and the Boy Next Door and Isla and the Happily Ever After. And the thing that I like is that they are all set in different cities, and it's just cute. I don't really know what to say about these books because most romance novels kind of follow the same, you know, guideline. Like, there's a girl, she meets a guy, fall in love, they have problems, and they fall back in love, and that's cute, and then the book ends with them being like forever or something, I don't know. Next, another one of those books that I haven't read in 30 years, Dash and Lily's Book of Dares by David Levithan and Rachel Kahn. It's a really good book, and I don't really remember it. It's definitely more of like a wintry read, like a winter snuggle up with your hot cocoa and read this book kind of book. From what I can recall, and reading the blurb off of Goodreads, it's a book about Dash, a guy named Dash, and a girl named Lily, and they have a book of dares, pretty much. Yeah. Basically all you need to know. And you could also infer that from the title. But that's basically what the book is about. I mean, I don't know what to say. Last book I will be mentioning is a part of a series. And it's the Selection series by Kira Cash. I blinked out for a second, but yeah, it's a good series, honestly. The first book and the second book were definitely my favorites out of the series. The third book, I was kind of borderline over with the series, I'm not gonna lie, but the first book was really good. If you haven't read it, it's part romance, part kind of dystopian in a way, but it's definitely a romance novel. It's a romance novel with other stuff going on in the background. Pretty much that's how I can describe this book. A romance novel with other stuff going on in the background. You know how like most books, they have like a dystopian book, you have some stuff going on and then the romance is in the background? No, the Selection is the romance is like the legit story plot, and then they have like random serious events going on in the background, pretty much. Think of The Bachelor in a book form. You got some guy, in this case he's a wealthy prince, and there's, I don't know how many girls there are in this book, but there's like 36 or 24 or 12 or something other girls, and they're trying to compete for his heart, and then he has to, you know, pick one. And it's all televised on national television. I bet you can't guess who he'll end up with. That's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, subscribe if you want to. This video is kind of laid back, chill, as the cool young hipsters say these days. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Bye, and have a happy Valentine's Day. Okay.